Going abroad? So you have to prepare yourself. In this English video, I'm going to show you 12 questions that you must know when going through customs and immigrations. So stay with me until the end. If you don't know me very well, hi, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you on your journey to fluency. But here we go. You have just landed. Here I am, California. What do? You know, you have just landed. You're excited. But now it's time to face customs and immigrations. How do you feel? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel afraid? Unprepared? So let's take a look at the most common questions that the immigration officer will ask you. Now, guys, what to expect? First and foremost, officers are there to ensure security and verify that you are following regulations. So each country may have particular protocols, but here I'm going to focus primarily on the USA. It may be similar in Canada, in some countries in Europe, but there may be differences. And not all questions here may be asked, okay? So I have been to the USA, I've been to England a few times, and each time I went to those places, they asked me different questions. But these are pretty standard, okay? So I will divide this video into common questions that they may ask depending on your answer, okay? Post-COVID, what possible questions they can ask, and other standard procedures when talking to an immigration officer. So they are gonna have, they will ask you for your passport. So may you see your passport? That's pretty standard. So be with your passport at the time you go through, when it's your turn, when it's time to talk to the immigration officer, okay? Now, common questions 1 and 2. What's the purpose of your visit? What are you doing here? Why are you here? And you can say, I'm here on vacation. Guys, be clear and specific. You don't need to go around and around and around. It's not time to show your fluency. Be objective. I'm here on vacation. I'm visiting family. I'm going sightseeing. I'm here on a business trip. What do you do for a living? What's your job? What's your career? I'm an accountant. I'm an IT specialist. I'm a student. Now, keep in mind that depending on your answer, they may ask you more questions. So let's say you say that you're here on business. They will ask you different questions. They may or may not. Let's say you're a student. They may ask you different questions because this happened to me when I traveled on business and when I traveled as a student a long time ago. So depending on your answer, they may ask for more information. So keep that in mind, okay? Now let's say you are a student. They may ask, what do you study? They asked me. I remember many years ago when I traveled and I was going to university, I told them I'm a student. And then the next question was, oh, that's nice. What do you study? Oh, I study international relations. And then the next question, which the officer asked me, she was very surprised. And she said, how come you're in the United States, in New York? Who is paying for your trip? And then I explained to her, well, I am a student, but I also work for a bank. I have a part-time job that's very common, and I get paid for that job. Because in the United States, when people study, they don't typically make a lot of money. But here in my country, I had to work, so I paid for my trip. Okay, I was also working. So depending on your answer, they may ask for more information. So who is paying for this trip? I'm paying myself. I'm a student. There's a letter A missing, okay? I'm a student, but I also have a part-time job. My parents are paying for this trip. My grandparents are paying for this trip. I wish, but that's not my case, okay? Now, if you are on a business trip, they may ask for more information. They may want to check your visa status. So depending on what you're doing, they may ask for more. That's when the conversation can get a little confusing, but it all comes down to your first answer. But let's say you are on business. So what's the purpose of your business trip? I'm meeting with clients. I'm here to attend a conference. This is pretty standard. Oh, I'm here for a conference, for an international conference. There you go. Who are you meeting with? Oh, I'm here on business. Oh, are you meeting anybody? Who are you meeting? Well, I'm meeting with clients. I am meeting with the local team. These are possible answers. Okay, I'm meeting with the American director of my company because I work for a multinational company. There you go. Are you being paid by a company here? Is someone paying you? Is an American company paying for your trip? Paying you? No, I'm not. I'm employed by my company in Brazil, in Mexico, in Saudi Arabia, the company where you work for in your country. So this is a good answer to give. But again, they may ask for more information. Questions 3 and 4. Where will you be staying and how long will you be staying? So how long will you be staying? Guys, you don't need to repeat all the question. I'll be staying for 2 weeks. Objective. For 2 weeks. And you don't even need to use the preposition. 2 weeks, 10 days, a month. There you go. Where will you be staying? It's important to know the name of the hotel and the address. The last time I went to London, they asked me this question and I didn't have the address. I didn't remember the name and I didn't have the address. That was a rough moment, okay? Because the officer was confused. He looked at me and said, "How come you don't have any information? How can I let you in if you don't know where you're staying? The name of the hotel, the address." And then I took a deep breath and I apologized and I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't prepare myself for this interview, but I have the information on my phone. I'm having trouble with my Wi-Fi connection, but give me a moment, please." And then I went through. I was nervous, okay? Not because I couldn't speak English, but because he was right. I didn't prepare myself. I didn't have the name of the hotel in hand. I didn't have the address, but then I finally found it, but it was not in my name. The reservation was not in my name. It was under my sister's name. And then he pointed it out. He was like, "But that's not your name." And then I said, "Well, that's my sister. She's here. She works for TikTok. I am just visiting and we are staying at the same hotel. She made the reservation. I'm here as a tourist. I'm on vacation. She is the one who is attending a conference, not me." And then he was, "Okay, fine. You can go." This happened, guys. I was nervous, but for a different reason. So prepare yourself. Have the name of the hotel, have the address of the hotel with you, because they may ask, and they are right to do so. So mention the location. "Oh, I'm staying at the Hilton Hotel downtown. Oh, I'm staying with friends in New York. I'm staying with friends in Cambridge. I'm staying with friends where?" Okay? If it's an address, then change the preposition to at. "I'm staying with friends at blah, blah, blah," and then mention the address. How long will you be staying? For 2 weeks, for a day. So guys, attention. If you're visiting people, the officer may ask for more information. So if I say, "Oh, I'm visiting friends," then they may want to know more about it, okay? Who are they? How do you know them? So who are you visiting? Who are you staying with? Oh, okay. Let me explain. Then you have to explain who the person is. "Oh, they're friends from college. Oh, they're relatives on my father's side. Oh, I met them on my last vacation, and now they invited me to visit." You don't need to be afraid. Sometimes people panic because they're visiting someone. Okay? The only moment you should panic is if you're visiting someone who is illegal. Then I would worry and I wouldn't mention it at all, okay? So that's a point of concern because it's against regulation. But if you're visiting someone who is a citizen, who has all the documentation, you can calmly mention that information, okay? Will you be staying with them? Let's say you're visiting friends, you're visiting family. Will you be staying with them? Oh, no, I won't. I'll be staying at a hotel. Oh, yes, I'll be staying with them in Chicago at this address, and then give them the address, mention the address. They're just looking for confirmation. That's all, okay? And guys, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm always bringing different lessons. And if you're interested in preparing yourself for your vacation, the first thing you need to do is change the way you study. And to help you with that, I have a study plan that will help you understand what you need to do so that you can unlock your fluency. Now, let's keep going. 5, 6, 7. How much money are you bringing? Ka-chang! On my last vacation to New York, they asked me that question. So I proudly said, well, I have about $3,000 and a credit card. And then the officer replied, wow, that's a lot of money. Are you going to do some shopping? And I said, absolutely. I love America. I love shopping. I've been saving for a long time. So that was me. But you can calmly say, okay, I have $2,000 and a credit card. This is a common question they may ask. If you're on vacation, especially if you're going sightseeing, they may ask that question or not. In London, for example, they didn't ask me that question. They didn't want to know, okay? Who are you traveling with? Are you alone? Do you have company? Are you traveling with a friend? Are you traveling with a family member? They may ask or not. I remember that on my trip in 2018, they asked me that question in New York again. I go to New York quite a lot, and I was traveling with a friend. So I said, well, I'm traveling with a friend. Oh, how do you know him? Well, we studied together. We went to college together. Now we're traveling together. There you go. Do you have a return ticket? If you do, and I hope you do, then you can say, yes, I do. I have a return ticket for, and then the date, or for July 22nd, for November 21st. There you go, no problems. If you don't, then you may need to explain yourself, and that's where things can get a little complicated, okay? But if you have a reason, give your reason. Moving on. Questions 8 and 9. Oh, okay. Now, these are not really questions, but they're more like commands. And this is common in the United States, okay, when you travel to the US. I'm not sure how this happens in other countries. In London, for example, this didn't happen to me. In France, this didn't happen to me. But in the United States, they typically get your fingerprints, thumbs, and hands, okay? So they may ask you to do that. They will probably give you those instructions. So they can look at you and say, sir or ma'am, sir, we will need to take your fingerprints as part of the entry process. Then you can say, okay, sure, no problems. You can say, yeah, okay, let's go, okay? And then they will say, please place your right thumb, okay? Place your right thumb on the scanner, and then you go, poof, sure. All right, now your left thumb, please. Okay, there you go. If you're not sure if the position is right, you can ask them. You can ask them, oh, like this? Like this? Like this? Like this? Don't do that. Is this correct? There you go, okay? Oh, next question. Okay, now place your right hand. Now it's the hand. Okay, all the hand. Now place your right hand on the scanner. Now the left hand, please. And then you can just say, okay, sure, all right, okay. Just to signal that you're paying attention, but do as they say. And there you go. Now, COVID. I'm not going to repeat this word again, but now you go. I got some questions in regard to this situation that happened to us in 2019 and 2020, and has it changed? I've been to a few countries after this happened, and nobody asked me that question. Nobody. Could they ask you that question? It's possible. If they do, be honest, answer those questions, okay? Have you been vaccinated for COVID-19? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. And then you explain why. Well, why not? If they ask, well, I have autoimmune disease, I have this condition, just explain, okay? If you say yes, could they ask for your vaccine certificate? They could, okay? In my case, I have it on my phone, and then I just show it. There you go, no problems. Have you been in contact with anyone sick recently? No. Say no. Imagine if you start saying, yes, my sister, she almost died of COVID and I was there with her. Then you shouldn't travel, okay? Take the test before you travel, all right? Safety first. So these are possible questions, but I wouldn't worry so much about them, okay? At the end of the day, they will stick to the most popular questions, and only if you answer something different from what they expect, like, oh, I'm here on business, oh, I'm a student, oh, I'm visiting someone, I'm visiting a citizen, I'm visiting a friend who works here, then they may ask you something different. But all in all, stick to the basics. You're gonna do great. Let me know when you go on your next trip. Other than that, share this video with a friend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.